Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Osaro Theory Podcast. My name is Efosa. We bring you this podcast as a regular thing we do every week or so. So today we're going to be talking about various um, topics,
Mm-hmm.
and we're just going to cover basically everything that we talked about before we started this podcast, which is about African psychology,
Mm-hmm.
book, philosophy, and where we currently are now
Mm-hmm.
as a people,
Yeah.
and what do we need to do to change and where we have to go.
Mm.
So I'll let you begin with what you got.
So basically, I'm just coming from the point of view of observer, basically, as we see the situation of Africa and where we are right now as a community, as a race, as continent, and then I feel like yes, we failed. Yes, we made some mistakes. Yes, we are doing certain things that it's not part of our nature, but it's sort of like a behavior we adopted. So my um question to you is that although many people, there's a lot of YouTubers, there are a lot of leaders, there are a lot of um role models that have this idea of united the whole, right? My question is like, before we can get to the whole, how are we going to do on the one-on-one basics? How are we going to do on the one-on-one to empower individuals to get to their potential? So I believe that if individuals are empowered, then when they come together as a whole, everybody has a role to play. Does that
Yes.
make sense?
Yes, so it does.
Yeah, because so far I haven't seen anyone, a genuine person or speaker or role model or leader that actually has come to empower us Africans. It seems that how can they keep coming on beating us down? Like we don't come together. Black people have issues. Black people hate each other. There's all this negative stuff. But honestly speaking, nobody has been able to empower us to bring the other side of us. Everybody has a negative side. European have a negative side, but if we keep on constantly repeating the negative side, how are we going to grow?
Yeah. I think that's an interesting question.
Mm.
And if I have to be honest, I don't have an answer to it.
Mm.
But all I can say is that yes, over the years we have had so many leaders that have tried to um, bring us together as a group,
Mm-hmm.
and most of them have they tried their best, and they weren't successful, and many of them failed as well. I think that comes from what has happened to us previously, like what happened to us during the slave trade and colonization.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what we can do now is basically we need to go back to the drawing board and just ask questions.
Mm.
And those questions have to be really critical ones. And we have to look into ourselves and ask ourselves the questions. What are we doing to improve the conditions of Africa?
Yeah.
What are we doing to change the narrative and the perception about Africa?
Mm-hmm.
So those are personal questions, individual. We have to ask ourselves before any leader can come or save us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have to ask ourselves those critical questions, like what have we done wrong? How do we go here?
Yeah.
And what can we change? And where do we need to go?
Mm-hmm.
When those questions, comes in,
Mm-hmm.
we will be able to find the right people to lead us to where we need to go.
Definitely.
At the currently,
Mm-hmm.
at this moment in time, there are no leaders who are willing or who are ready to take us to that promised land. There are no leaders at the moment.
Yeah. Why you say that?
Because when you look at Black community today,
Mm.
there is it's fragmented. It's so disorganized and it's so badly wounded that it's going to take a miracle, a real good leader to put them together.
A miracle.
Yeah, a really good one. So Black community was so fragmented to the point whereby we don't trust each other.
Wow.
See, when we don't trust each other, it's impossible for us to unite and come together as a group. Because if I trust you as a friend, I can share my secret with you.
Yeah.
And I can share my ideas and things that I'm planning to do with you because I trust you as a friend.
Yeah.
But if I don't trust you as a friend, I'm skeptical of you. I'm doubtful of you. So when you come around, I'm very scared. And because I don't trust you. And then why don't we trust each other? That's a question that we have to ask ourselves. What makes Black people don't trust each other? Because it comes all the way back from Africa.
Yeah.
Because we were so divided in tribes, for some reason that created an atmosphere of hatred because we are so divided in tribes. So that kind of translated into the disorganized that we find across Africa and in diasporas as well.
Yeah.
So, but until we ask ourselves, how do we go this wrong? How do we go this bad?
Yeah.
We are not able to resolve any problems or resolve the issue of trust. We have to ask ourselves the critical question, like, what are we doing as individual to kind of amend and to change the narrative of the idea of trust? Because if I don't trust you, I won't fight for you. I won't die for you. I won't sacrifice nothing for you because I don't trust you. And over the years, the behavior of African towards Africans has contributed to the problem that is surrounding trust. That we are facing now as a community, because the behavior of Africans has kind of boosted more hatred towards ourselves instead of trying to heal and trying to cure the disease. So that's why I think that at this moment in time, Africans need psychology. There is a need for African psychology. If there's no African psychology, which I'm be trying to push forward, and if there's no African psychology, we're not going anywhere, and that's just the sad truth. There needs to be a psychological study that is willing to study what has happened in the past and how we got things wrong and how we can solve it. If there's no psychological work, it's just impossible for Black people to come together. Because the problem of African today is just psychological.
Wow. Yeah. So in that case, what you're saying, because also from reading your book, what I can understand, long story short, from your book is that other than being different from European, also what has blocked Africans to succeed, it seems that it's a matter of behavior. It seems it's a matter of psychology, because of this behavior that we have adopted of kind of, it's like the cancer that's killing us.
Yeah. I think the problem over the years has been that Africa have, when you look at Africans and in academia, and they have done so much in terms of researching their history, researching the past civilization or what have you.
Yeah.
researching all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And one thing they forgot to do
Hmm.
is that they never take time to study Africans.
Yeah.
And if I ask anyone or ask anybody now and say, hey, what makes you an African?
Wow.
99% don't know what makes them an African.
Yeah.
So if they don't know what makes them an African, how are they able to know what they want?
Wow.
So the problem is that until we have psychology to tell you that, hey, here is what makes you an African, A, B, C, and D. And here is how you can do or do these things so that you can do these things and still remain Africans. Basically, the problem over the years is that because there's no psychologists in Black community who might be interested in trying to study the Black behavior and the black psychology, really, to understand what is the problem that is holding African people back. Because there hasn't been any psychology or less psychology, I would say, in terms of studies, we have been in this position like a sheep, like a sheep without a shepherd,
Yeah.
So we are just wandering around, wherever the wind blows, we go.
Yeah.
If the Asian come, we want to be Asians. When the Arab comes, we want to become Arabs. When the European comes, we want to be Europeans. So we don't have a root, So, but in order for us to have a root, there has to be a psychology that tells you that, hey, here's what makes you an African. Here's what you can apply to be an African. And we have to go back to the school curriculum and shape the school curriculum so that it reinforces the Africanness in us, rather than diminishing the Africanness in us and Europeanizing us.
Wow.
Because the current school curriculum in Africa is Europeanizing Africa. And we wonder why we are not successful when we have a curriculum that is Europeanizing us in our own country. So you don't go to European country or schools and their curriculum is based on Africa and is Africanizing them. It's impossible. See, right. It's impossible. The European school curriculum Europeanize European. That's why Europeans are successful. The Asian school curriculum Asianize them, if that's a word. That's why the Asians are successful. Yeah. The Arabs curriculum make them Arabic. It's Arabic. That's why they speak Arabic, Islam, or whatever, So only in Africa that we have other people's curriculum. Because over the years, we be so reluctant to want to do the work, which is the work of psychology, to want to carry out this hideous work and do it and change this curriculum so that our children, when they are born, and we should be the one to educate them before we give them or send them out to the world. We Africans supposed to be the one to educate our children.
Yeah.
If you go back to any civilized society, from the Greek all the way to the Romans or to Europeans, or Britain or France, even in Asia, you will find out that nobody allows anybody to educate their children for them.
Yeah.
It's only in Africa that we have other people educating our children and send them back to us after they have brainwashed them, they have Europeanized them, or they have Asianized them. They send them back to us, and these people come back to Africa. They cannot apply what it is that they have learned from these countries.
Yeah.
That's why Africa is still underdeveloped. That's why Africa is still a failing society, because although we have so many educated people in Africa, for some reason, whatever they've learned, they are not just applying it in Africa, because whatever they learn, it doesn't apply to the everyday existence, everyday challenges of Africa at this present time.
That's true.
Education is supposed to be what is happening in your environment at that present time.
Yeah.
If education is not what is happening in your environment, you are not learning anything. You are basically memorizing materials that is not relevant to you.
Wow.
So most Africans with PhD, with all kinds of degree, but when you look at the amount of Africans that has so many high degrees from prestigious universities, and then you see the situation in Africa, it makes you question, like, if these people are really that educated, why are they not applying what they've learned in Africa?
Yeah.
The reason is because they've been Europeanized.
Wow.
They've been Europeanized to the point whereby the education that they were giving is a European template. It's a European form.
Yeah.
It's not that it's a bad education, because it works well for European.
Yeah.
You know, the education is not bad. It works very well for European.
Yeah.
But it's just that when it comes to Africa, this education cannot be implemented because it's not what is currently happening in Africans' daily surrounding. It's not what is happening. You understand me?
Yeah.
Europeans got like a very developed society. They can have a sky train, they can have drone, they can have all this stuff because they have a developed society.
Yeah.
They have built the foundations, institutions, some technology. Yeah. But the main core of a society, the main pillar of a society is basically have the right institution that educate the people.
Yeah.
That changes the people's mind. That educate the people.
Yeah.
You understand me? The mind is the most powerful thing on the human body.
Yeah.
Whoever controls the mind controls the body. And
right.
over the years, what Africans have done is that they have allowed Europeans to control the mind, which is the most powerful machine in the entire body. And then we wonder why we are not doing enough, why we are not successful, why we are not doing as good as other races.
Yeah.
Because we have allowed other races to control the most powerful machine in the entire body, which is the mind. We gave it out. We sold it out.
Wow. That's amazing. I think you answered everything I needed to know in regards to this topic about Africans. I feel like, yes, it's true. Like, psychology is the key, definitely. We have to be able to motivate and help people to gain control over their minds. So if individual, we have the responsibility to change the way we think and our perspective, definitely, then we can look at the bigger picture, because once we come in together, everybody knows their role, know their value that they bring to the table, and then we'll be able to move the continent forward. We can be able to move the community, the family, and everything. So yes, as you said, again, the mind is the tool. So psychology is a must in Africa. And for anybody that wants to be a leader, anybody want to motivate people, there's no need to come and point out how much we failed. Actually, do your homework, do your psychology, and come and help these people with what they need, not what they want to hear, but what they need to hear. And I believe, like, your book says it all. I mean, like, you've said everything that we needed to know. I think just reading that book, you already Africanized in a way. Like, you know where you started from, where you are now, and where the future is heading to. So I think, yes, again, it's amazing. So psychology.
Yeah, that's this for this episode. And I thank you guys for listening. And once again, have a nice day. And I see you on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
This is 20 minutes.